Garten of Banban is back again, this time confirming many of the theories before and revealing who the monstrous mascots truly are. Hi folks, I'm R, your narrator, and welcome to Garten of Banban Chapter 2. If you have any video or game suggestions, make sure to send them to me on my Twitter or subreddit. Keep in mind that this video will have spoilers, also of Chapter 1, and with that in mind, let's begin. After the dramatic encounter the protagonist has with Jumbo Josh, going down to the secret room, risking his own life to save his missing child, it seems as if the platform elevator crashes down with Jumbo hanging onto it, not being able to carry the heavy weight, which leads to the elevator falling on Jumbo, rendering him unconscious, if not dead, giving the lucky parent a chance to escape before Jumbo crushes him with his huge fists. Despite feeling extreme fear, finding himself trembling and finding it difficult to get his shaky legs steady in order to move, the courageous parent keeps pushing forward, coming across several floating platforms which can be accessed using a moving platform. In a corner, the protagonist finds a note left behind by someone who seems to have worked here, expressing their regrets, explaining how their actions have come back to haunt them, talking about the mysterious abyss where they threw people in.
Everyone's gone, and the whispers from the abyss just keep getting louder. I think I even saw a face or two looking up at me. We were told everything that gets thrown into the abyss dies, but it appears we were tricked. The things that we have done have finally come back to haunt us.
The parent's starting to find it difficult to keep his spirits up after reading all these horrifying notes of how everyone is dead, with a sinister kindergarten throwing people down into the abyss. He shakingly wipes his tears away, promising to never leave until he finds his child. He uses the keycards he found, going to the comm center where he finds concerning writings about a hostile spider. Just as he's reading, he notices a blue mascot who seems to have been scrapped from the list of main mascots named Nap Nap, a lonely entity which, according to his own description, is miserable. Maybe because he had to be scrapped and unused, especially as it seems these monstrous mascots were once human who transformed into these entities. Therefore, the test subject transforming into Nap Nap lost his humanity and life as he once knew it for no reason, becoming this entity completely in vain. As the entity disappears, the parent continues on listening to someone from the speakers expressing his gratitude for someone being still alive, instructing the protagonist on how to find a way out so they can meet.
Hey, you there. I can see you on the cameras. I am so happy to see you, and I need your help with something. Oh, thank God. I'm so glad you're here. I thought this was the end. I was looking around and walked into the security room. Then the door closed behind me and I've been stuck inside since. It needs a light blue key card to open, but I don't have it. I know why you're here and I can help you, but you've got to get me out of here. If I recall correctly, only maintenance workers held the light blue key card. So you're gonna have to go down to the maintenance room and look there.
This person seems to want to escape as well, as it seems he's trapped hiding from the other mascots. In addition to the main mascots, there seems to be two new additions, Sheriff Toadster and Slow Celine, with Nap Nap being the left out concept. Sheriff Toadster, just like other mascots, promotes and advocates good behavior such as treating others with respect, with Slow Celine being a helpful character for the children. The protagonist soon finds another secret note entailing a case update report seemingly being the report of an experiment. Being case number 6, case type 2 with the alias being known as the Devil and the genome being human and Juvanium. The report entails how each experiment is labeled as a case. It explains how case number 6 has been much more successful than the others preceding it, confirming that the entity created is sourced from a human donor genome. The donor is mentioned to have been a doctor with a substance running inside them being something called Juvanium and not blood. It's further indicated that the entities do not recognize themselves as non-humans and do not show much self-awareness. The protagonist, learning more and more about the sinister nature of the so-called kindergarten he entrusted his child to, can't help but feel guilty for giving up his child to such monsters. Exploring further down, trying to go to the maintenance room, he reads a work safety instruction that the entity known as Spider has been a constant problem which the organization warned their employees constantly about. As soon as the protagonist collects another keycard from the storage unit, he gets chased by Nap Nap crawling on the ceilings like a horrifying spider, which indicates he has been the one referred to as the Spider all along, a scrapped, lonely and vindictive experiment which has turned evil. Just as the protagonist is busy reading a note, he gets hit very hard from behind, only for it to turn out to be the person on the speaker, pretending to be a friend to the protagonist, just to reveal he tricked the protagonist to get the keycards while staying safe and away from the spider. The horrifying revelation also depicts how this person is in the shape of Banban, which means he is a very intelligent and self-aware experiment, otherwise known as a case. As the parent's vision starts to go blurry just before he loses his consciousness, Banban mentions he intends to perform a surgery on him before he awakens much later on a bed in a different room with no sign of Banban anywhere to be seen. Finding another note about the devil or case number 6, it's revealed the experiment recalls many memories from the donor with an almost identical level of intelligence, effectively making him a clone of the doctor. This case, unlike the previous cases, remained friendly and docile, with the others being hostile and nervous, a behavior attributed to the nature of their situation on how they are not accustomed to their new bodies. With a green trail leading to another room, the protagonist, not knowing what happened to him, uses a keycard and goes up with an elevator. In the room upstairs, he finds so many different mascots experimented on, as if all have faced this miserable fate under the hands of Banban, as if Banban is in fact case number 6, the intelligent experiment who was created using the genome of a doctor, essentially making him a clone of the donor with the same mind and skills. Extracting some watery substance from an experimented on mascot, it turns out to be green, with the green trail being nothing else than Juvanium, the substance flowing in the mascot's bodies instead of blood. This suggests a mascot must have been injured or hurt being dragged to another room. The number of experiments suggest how many failed mascots must have been created, with only few being successful, revealing the unethical nature of the experimentations, how each subject essentially had the same consciousness and awareness of the donor, yet not having any rights and being treated like test subjects. Managing to leave the operation room, the parent uses the floating bridge to go to the testing sector. In there, the protagonist finds another note about case number 10, being the result of a flamingo and the mysterious substance known as Juvanium, the green blood. Alias being known as the bird, it's revealed the note is about the Opila bird. The note mentions how the new, more successful case has been more protective of certain demographics, those that have child attributes such as small statures, high-pitched voices, and childlike behavior, with any other demographics still being targets of the bird. This explains why the Opila bird attacked the protagonist in chapter 1, as he is an adult. As the protagonist continues onwards, he sees a way too familiar face, another replica of Opila bird chasing after him, when all of a sudden he hears a friendly voice telling him to turn around towards her. It turns out to be from Banbalina, the female counterpart of Banban, who guides the parent to another room. The parent, thinking Banbalina might be friendly, soon comes to realize she has lost her mind due to isolation and the nature of her existence being an experiment, treating the protagonist as a child while using inanimate objects to play pretend as if overwatching a classroom. Banbalina, in a condescending and mean manner, refers to the protagonist as a weird and unpopular kid, being manipulative and controlling. As if the parent doesn't obey her strict, senseless rules, she quickly turns evil and kills the protagonist. Even a poster on the wall reveals how she is hurt and resentful, on how kindness results into betrayal and evil. Forcefully being seated, taking part in Banbalina's psychotic play pretend, she mentions how she kills people and eats their brain, revealing her true sinister nature.
Over the course of the semester, you will learn how to annihilate others, how to safely extract the human brain for eating, and... Oh, wait, I made a mistake. I think that's lesson 4 of the day.
Managing to answer some random questions correctly, surviving the fury of Banbalina's punishments, the parent goes to lunch break, taking part in Banbalina's games, getting promoted to a cool kid. Sitting at the popular kids table, Banbalina shows her bias towards them on letting any ridiculous answers pass. Meanwhile, she reveals an important piece of the story, referring to herself as a human, depicting how she was created from a human genome as well, sharing the same intelligence and memories. Something that correlates with what was written in the note, that these cases or experiments do not recognize themselves as non-human. After another little game, managing to sit alongside the mean kid, Banbalina reveals her sinister nature on how mean and evil she truly is. She then hears a sound, going to check on it, giving the protagonist some time to find a way out, escaping from the psychotic controlling Banbalina. The protagonist then faces several Opila bird chicks, using them to trick the Opila bird to clear the path for him. In a new room, he then faces the slow Celine snail, who plays an altered version of red light, green light with him. After a while, the terrified yet determined parent pushes forward, finding himself in a strange room labeled as the winner's sector. In there, he finds a mysteriously placed birthday cake with 2 small figurines of Bambolina and Banban dancing, with several doors each having an image of a mascot, seemingly letting them come out of them. That's when Banban appears behind the safety window on an elevator, mentioning how spectators used to be in place of Banban, watching all the experiments from behind the glass as if they are some wild zoo animals while having human consciousnesses. Banban mentions he's not actually hostile and wants to save the protagonist's children, but he has to trust them as there's an entity stronger than both him and the protagonist, lying deep within the abyss. Banban then instructs the protagonist to go through Opila Bird's door to access an elevator before the other monstrous mascots appear. That's when Bambolina chases after the protagonist, whom he narrowly escapes in a tense chase, with Jumbo Josh mistakenly crushing her. Using an elevator to go down to the abyss, the story ends here to be continued in chapter number 3. Therefore, several things were confirmed from the previous chapter: that the protagonist is a parent looking for his child or children, that the mascots are results of experimentation created as clone of their genome donors, and the children are possibly imprisoned within the facilities for unknown reasons. It's not yet clear if we can trust Banban, as he tricked the protagonist once before and knocked him out, staying very vague that he needed something from the protagonist. Either way, we'll soon find out what's happened to the children and if the courageous and heroic parent will find his children or child. And that's it for this video, folks. If you enjoyed that, make sure to stay tuned by hitting on the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your host Star, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good day.